You know, back in my day, we didn't have all these fancy gadgets telling us how healthy we were. No smartwatches, no fitness apps, no fancy heart rate monitors blinking every second. We had something far simpler. If you could walk and keep walking without stopping, that meant you were in good shape. It was that simple. I remember my old man telling me, "Son, if your legs can carry you far without huffing and puffing like an old steam engine, your heart is doing just fine." And let me tell you, that lesson stuck with me. Most folks these days don't realize how much their body is talking to them. They think they need a doctor's visit or a stack of medical reports to know if they are healthy. But your heart, that engine inside you, it has a way of telling you loud and clear if it's strong or struggling. And one of the simplest ways to check, just walk. Walk and see how far you can go before your body forces you to stop. If you can keep going without feeling like you are about to collapse, that's a good sign. If you're gasping for air after a short distance, well, that's your heart waving a red flag. I've seen too many people ignore these signs. They tell themselves, "I'll start exercising next week. I'll eat better once this busy month is over. I'll rest when I have time." But the body doesn't wait. The heart doesn't care about your schedule. It just keeps pumping, day in, day out, until one day it struggles. And when that happens, you can't bargain with it. That's why I tell everyone, test yourself now. Don't wait for a doctor to tell you that your heart is weak. Take a walk, a real one, a long one, and see how you feel. I remember this one time. I was much younger then, maybe in my 40s. A friend of mine, James, he was a good man, hardworking, provided for his family, but he never took care of himself. Always busy, always stressed. One day, we were walking together to the market. It wasn't even that far, just a short stretch. But halfway there, he stopped, hands on his knees, gasping for air, his face pale. I looked at him and said, "James, that's not normal." He brushed it off, laughed, said he was just tired from work. A few months later, he had a heart attack. Didn't make it. That stuck with me. You see, the heart is a muscle. And just like any muscle, it needs to be worked to stay strong. It's not about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. It's about movement, about pushing your body just enough to keep that heart pumping strong. Walking is the simplest way to do it. No equipment, no gym membership, just you and the road ahead. The longer you can walk without feeling like your chest is about to explode, the better shape your heart is in. I've had young folks tell me, "But sir, I'm active. I go to the gym, I lift weights," and I ask them, "That's good, but can you walk a long distance without stopping?" And you'd be surprised how many struggle. Because strength is one thing, but endurance, that's what tells you if your heart is really working well. If you can walk for a good long while without stopping, without feeling like your body is screaming at you to sit down, that's a sign your heart is doing its job. Now, that I'm not saying you need to walk for hours every single day, but you do need to test yourself. Maybe it's 1 mile today, maybe 2 miles next week. Pay attention to how you feel. Do you start wheezing? Do your legs feel heavy? Does your chest feel tight? Or can you keep going? Breathing steady, feeling strong. That's your answer right there. Some people think they're too old to start. Let me tell you, that's nonsense. I've seen folks in their 70s outwalk people in their 30s because they've been moving all their lives. It's never too late to start, but it can be too late if you wait too long. And here's the truth that most folks don't like to hear. If you can't walk for more than a short distance without struggling, that means your heart is already weaker than it should be. But that doesn't mean you can't fix it. It means you need to start now. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. The heart is a forgiving thing. Give it movement, give it good food, give it proper rest, and it will get stronger. I've seen miracles happen just from people deciding to take their health seriously. A friend of mine, George, he was on the edge. Doctors told him his heart was weak. He had high blood pressure. He could barely walk up a flight of stairs, but he decided to change. Every morning, he walked. At first, just a few steps, then a bit more, then a bit more. It took time, but months later, that man was walking miles without stopping. His doctor couldn't believe it. The lesson is simple. If you can walk long and steady without stopping, your heart is strong. If you can't, your heart needs help, and you are the only one who can give it that help. No pill, no magic cure, just movement. It's the most natural way to keep your heart in good shape. I don't care how busy life gets. I don't care how tired you think you are. If you have time to scroll on your phone, you have time to take a walk. If you have time to sit in front of the TV, you have time to take a walk. And trust me, one day, you'll be glad you did. Because when you can walk far without stopping, it means your heart is working for you, keeping you alive, keeping you strong. And that, my friend, is worth every single step. How can a person determine their personal ideal walking distance that signifies a strong and healthy heart? A strong and healthy heart means different things for different people. A young and active person may find that walking 5 miles feels effortless, while someone older or recovering from an illness may see real progress in reaching 1 mile without stopping. The key is not the distance itself, but rather how your body handles it. If you finish your ideal walking distance feeling slightly challenged but not gasping for air, if your heart rate increases but does not feel overwhelming, then you are in the right zone. Your ideal walking distance should push you slightly beyond your comfort level without making you feel like you are on the verge of collapse. It should leave you feeling invigorated, not exhausted. Walking is not just about physical endurance. It is about emotional and mental resilience too. A strong and healthy heart is not only one that pumps efficiently, but also one that supports your emotional well-being. If you can walk a certain distance without feeling mentally defeated, if you can enjoy the process rather than dread it, then that is a good sign. Your mind and body must work together. Stress, anxiety, and emotional strain can all impact heart health. The right walking distance should allow you to clear your mind, reduce tension, and boost your overall mood. If a certain distance feels too grueling, causing stress rather than relief, it is likely not ideal for you. One of the best ways to determine if your walking distance reflects a strong and healthy heart is by paying attention to your recovery. After finishing, do you catch your breath quickly? Does your heart rate return to normal within a reasonable time? If so, this means your heart is working efficiently. If it takes too long to recover, or if you feel completely drained for hours afterward, you may need to adjust either your pace or your distance. The best walking distance is the one that allows you to challenge yourself while maintaining an efficient recovery time. Another powerful indicator of your ideal walking distance is how consistently you can maintain it. A strong heart is not built through occasional bursts of intense activity, but through steady, regular movement. If you find yourself unable to repeat the same walking distance multiple times a week without feeling overly fatigued, then it is too much. Your body thrives on consistency. The best measure of a strong heart is not how far you can push yourself in a single day, but rather how well you can sustain an active routine over time. Your ideal walking distance should align with your fitness level, but also encourage gradual improvement. If you walk the same distance every day without ever feeling challenged, it may be time to increase it slightly. On the other hand, if you frequently feel strained, dizzy, or overly exhausted, then you may be pushing too hard. A strong and healthy heart is about balance. It is about endurance without excessive strain, strength without burnout, growth without injury. Heart rate monitoring can be an effective tool in determining your ideal walking distance. During a walk, your heart rate should increase, but remain within a healthy range. If it skyrockets too quickly or stays elevated long after you have stopped, it could be a sign that the distance is too demanding. A well-conditioned heart responds efficiently to exercise and recovers quickly. Checking your heart rate at different points in your walk and after finishing can give you insight into whether you are walking the right distance for your cardiovascular health. Your breathing pattern is another clue. If you can maintain a conversation while walking but still feel like you are working, that is a great sign. If you are completely out of breath and struggling to speak, then the distance or pace may be too much. Conversely, if you can walk effortlessly without feeling any exertion at all, you may not be pushing yourself enough. Your ideal distance should leave you feeling like you have accomplished something while still being able to talk and enjoy the walk. A practical way to find your ideal walking distance is to start with a distance that feels manageable and increase it slightly over time. Pay attention to how you feel both during and after. If you feel stronger, more energized, and able to recover quickly, then you are on the right path. If you feel overly fatigued, dizzy, or discouraged, then adjustments are needed. Your body is always communicating with you. The key is to listen. Age, fitness level, medical conditions, and lifestyle all play a role in determining the ideal distance. Someone who is young and athletic may find that walking 5 or even 10 miles feels like an easy task, while an older individual or someone recovering from a heart condition may find great progress in reaching 1 mile with steady endurance. There is no universal number that applies to everyone. Instead, it is about understanding your own physical capabilities and recognizing when you are making progress. Walking should feel empowering. It should make you feel more in tune with your body rather than discouraged by it. If you walk a certain distance and feel sluggish for the rest of the day, then it is not ideal. If instead, you walk and feel more awake, more alive, and more capable, then you are in the right zone. The best way to determine your ideal walking distance is by focusing on how you feel rather than fixating on a number. One of the biggest mistakes people make is comparing themselves to others. Someone else's ideal walking distance has nothing to do with yours. You may see people boasting about walking 10 miles a day, but that does not mean it is the right distance for you. A strong and healthy heart is not about reaching an arbitrary goal. It is about ensuring that your cardiovascular system is working efficiently, that your endurance is improving, and that you feel good while doing it. As you continue walking regularly, you will start to notice patterns. You will recognize what feels natural and what feels forced. Some days, you may be able to walk longer, while other days, your body may signal that it needs rest. That is normal. Your heart strength is not measured by a single day's performance, but by overall consistency. The key is to challenge yourself while respecting your limits. What early warning signs during a walk might indicate hidden heart issues, even if you feel relatively healthy? One of the first indications of a potential heart issue is an unusual feeling of fatigue. If you find yourself getting tired far more quickly than usual, struggling to maintain the same pace that once felt effortless, or feeling drained after a short distance, this could be a warning sign. Fatigue related to heart issues is different from the tiredness that comes from lack of sleep or a long day. It is an overwhelming sense of exhaustion that does not seem to match the level of effort you are putting in. If you are walking a familiar route and suddenly feel as though you are pushing through deep sand, struggling to keep up with your own body, your heart may not be pumping blood efficiently enough to deliver oxygen where it is needed. Another key sign is unexpected shortness of breath. While it is normal to breathe a little harder during physical activity, especially if you are pushing yourself, it should not feel like an impossible struggle. If you find yourself gasping for air even when walking at a moderate pace, or if you feel like you just cannot get a deep enough breath, your heart may be having trouble supplying oxygen to your body. This can be a sign that your heart is working too hard to circulate blood, possibly due to blocked arteries or an irregular rhythm. Shortness of breath that lingers even after you slow down is particularly concerning and should not be ignored. Chest discomfort, even if mild, is another sign that something may be wrong. Many people assume that a heart problem will present itself as severe chest pain, but that is not always the case. Sometimes it begins as a subtle tightness, a dull ache, or a strange pressure that comes and goes. If you ever feel an unusual sensation in your chest while walking, do not brush it off. It does not have to be sharp or intense to be significant. A feeling of heaviness, as though something is pressing down on your chest, or a strange burning sensation that you might mistake for indigestion, could be early signs of heart trouble. If this sensation worsens with exertion and eases when you stop, it may indicate that your heart is struggling to get enough oxygen. Pay attention to any discomfort in other areas of your body, especially in the arms, shoulders, neck, jaw, or back. Many people do not realize that heart-related pain does not always occur in the chest. Sometimes it radiates to other areas, creating an unusual or unexplained ache. If you are walking and suddenly feel a pain in your left arm, a tightness in your jaw, or an aching sensation in your upper back that was not there before, take it seriously. These symptoms can be easy to dismiss, but they often appear as early warnings of an underlying issue. Dizziness or lightheadedness during a walk is another important sign that your heart may not be functioning properly. If you suddenly feel unsteady, as though the ground is shifting beneath you, or if you experience a brief moment where the world seems to spin, your heart may not be pumping blood effectively. This can lead to a temporary drop in blood pressure, reducing the amount of oxygen reaching your brain. If dizziness happens regularly while walking, especially if it is accompanied by weakness or a feeling that you might faint, it is a red flag that should not be ignored. Another unexpected warning sign is nausea or an upset stomach. While most people associate nausea with digestive issues, it can also be an early sign of heart problems. If you are walking and suddenly feel queasy or experience a wave of nausea that seems to come out of nowhere, it could be your body's way of signaling that something is wrong. Some people even experience cold sweats along with nausea, a combination that should never be ignored. If you break into a sudden sweat that feels clammy and out of place for the level of exertion, your body may be struggling to regulate blood flow. Unusual swelling, especially in the feet, ankles, or legs, can also be an early sign of a hidden heart issue. If your heart is not pumping efficiently, fluid can begin to build up in your lower extremities, causing noticeable puffiness. If you lace up your shoes for a walk and notice that they feel tighter than usual, or if your socks leave deep indentations in your skin, it could be due to poor circulation. Swelling that appears suddenly or worsens after walking is worth paying attention to. Heart palpitations or an irregular heartbeat can also provide an important clue. While it is normal for your heart rate to increase during exercise, it should remain steady and controlled. If you suddenly feel a strange fluttering sensation in your chest, a rapid or irregular heartbeat, or a sensation as though your heart is skipping beats, it could indicate an underlying heart condition. Some people describe it as a feeling of their heart pounding unusually hard, even when they are walking at a normal pace. If this happens frequently, especially if it is accompanied by dizziness or weakness, it may be a sign that your heart's electrical system is not functioning as it should. A sense of overwhelming anxiety or an unshakable feeling that something is wrong can also be an early warning sign. Many people who have experienced heart issues describe an intense sense of unease, almost like an instinctive warning from their body. If you are walking and suddenly feel an unexplainable wave of anxiety, especially if it is accompanied by any physical symptoms, do not dismiss it. Your body often knows when something is wrong before your mind fully registers it. How does emotional stress impact your ability to walk long distances? And what does that say about the heart-mind connection? When a person is emotionally stressed, their body immediately goes into a state of high alert. The nervous system triggers the release of hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which prepare the body for a fight or flight response. While this reaction is meant to protect a person from danger, prolonged stress keeps the body stuck in this heightened state. This means the heart beats faster, blood vessels tighten, and breathing becomes shallow. For someone trying to walk a long distance, this internal tension can create an unexpected barrier. They may start feeling winded much sooner than usual, even if they have walked the same path many times before. The muscles, already tense from emotional strain, may feel stiff or fatigued earlier than expected. These physical changes can make walking feel significantly more challenging than it should be. Another major way emotional stress interferes with walking endurance is through its impact on heart function. Stress has been shown to increase blood pressure, disrupt normal heart rhythms, and even contribute to inflammation within the cardiovascular system. When a person tries to walk while experiencing emotional distress, their heart has to work harder than usual. This extra strain can lead to sensations of heaviness in the chest, irregular heartbeats, or even dizziness. In extreme cases, stress-related heart conditions can make it nearly impossible to continue walking without needing to stop frequently. The heart is not just a mechanical pump. It responds directly to emotional signals. And when those signals are filled with anxiety, sadness, or frustration, the heart struggles to maintain the same level of endurance. Beyond the immediate physical symptoms, emotional stress can also impact walking ability by altering perception and motivation. When stress is high, the mind often becomes overwhelmed with worry or negative thoughts. This mental weight can make even the simplest physical activity feel exhausting. A person might find themselves walking slower, taking more breaks, or even deciding to cut their journey short because they feel mentally drained. It is not just a matter of willpower. The brain and body are deeply connected, and when one suffers, the other follows. Walking long distances requires not just physical strength, but also mental resilience. When the mind is burdened with stress, it sends signals to the body that can sap energy, reduce focus, and make the entire experience feel far more difficult than it should be. The impact of emotional stress on walking distance also highlights an important truth about the heart-mind connection. The heart is not an isolated organ working independently from emotions. It is directly influenced by thoughts, moods, and overall mental health. Studies have shown that people who experience chronic stress, anxiety, or depression are more likely to develop heart-related issues over time. The constant activation of stress hormones can weaken the heart muscle, disrupt normal circulation, and make the entire cardiovascular system less efficient. This means that long-term emotional distress does not just make it harder to walk. It can actually contribute to long-term heart disease, reducing overall endurance in a way that goes beyond temporary fatigue. A striking example of this connection is seen in individuals who experience emotional heartbreak or grief. Many people who go through intense emotional pain report feeling physically weak, as if their body is struggling to keep up with the weight of their emotions. Some even experience what is known as broken heart syndrome, a real medical condition where severe stress causes the heart to weaken temporarily. People who experience this condition often find themselves unable to perform physical activities they once found easy. Walking even a short distance can feel like an impossible task, not because their muscles are failing, but because their emotional pain is directly affecting their heart's ability to function properly. This connection between stress, heart health, and walking ability is also reflected in how people recover from emotional distress. Many therapists and doctors recommend walking as a way to reduce stress and improve mood. Gentle movement helps regulate breathing, lower blood pressure, and release endorphins, which can counteract the negative effects of stress hormones. However, for those who are deeply stressed, getting started can be incredibly difficult. Their body resists the idea of movement because their mind is exhausted. It takes conscious effort to push past the mental barriers and recognize that walking itself can be part of the healing process. This highlights the two-way relationship between the heart and mind. While stress can make walking harder, walking can also be a tool to fight back against stress, creating a cycle of healing rather than harm. One of the most revealing aspects of how emotional stress impacts walking ability is how people feel once they finish their walk. If a person begins a walk feeling emotionally drained, but notices an improvement in mood, it is a clear sign that their mind and heart are responding positively to movement. On the other hand, if they still feel exhausted, mentally foggy, or physically unwell even after walking, it may indicate that their stress has reached a level where it is actively harming their cardiovascular health. Recognizing these signals is crucial because it allows people to take steps toward managing stress before it turns into a more serious heart condition. The relationship between emotional stress and walking endurance serves as a powerful reminder of how interconnected the body and mind truly are. The heart does not simply react to physical exertion. It responds to emotions, thoughts, and overall mental well-being. When stress is left unchecked, it can weaken the body's ability to perform even simple activities like walking long distances. This does not mean that stress should be feared or avoided entirely. Instead, it should be acknowledged as a signal from the body that something needs attention. Whether through mindfulness, deep breathing, social support, or professional help, managing stress effectively can protect both the heart and the ability to stay physically active. If two people of the same age and weight have vastly different walking endurance, what underlying health factors could explain the difference? One of the most critical factors affecting walking endurance is cardiovascular health. Even if two people weigh the same and are of the same age, their hearts may not function at the same level of efficiency. A person with a stronger heart will have better circulation, meaning their muscles receive more oxygen and nutrients during movement. This allows them to sustain physical activity for a longer time without feeling fatigued. On the other hand, if someone has undiagnosed or developing cardiovascular issues, their heart may struggle to pump blood effectively. This can lead to shortness of breath, dizziness, and the need to stop more frequently, even if they appear to be in similar shape as someone with better heart health. Lung capacity and respiratory efficiency also play a significant role. Two individuals may have identical body weights, but if one has a history of smoking, asthma, or other respiratory conditions, they may find it much harder to maintain endurance. Oxygen is essential for sustaining physical activity, and if the lungs are compromised, the body cannot function optimally. Even anxiety-related breathing issues can impact endurance. Someone who experiences shallow breathing due to stress may struggle to sustain a long walk, even if their physical fitness appears adequate. Muscle composition and strength contribute to differences in endurance as well. Even if two people are the same weight, their muscle mass and distribution can be vastly different. A person who engages in regular physical activity, strength training, or even daily stretching will have stronger, more efficient muscles that can support prolonged movement. In contrast, someone with a more sedentary lifestyle may experience quicker muscle fatigue, leading to slower walking speeds and the need for more breaks. The condition of the leg muscles, in particular, can make a significant difference. Stronger calves, quadriceps, and hamstrings help propel a person forward with less effort, reducing overall exhaustion. Metabolism and energy utilization further explain why endurance varies between individuals. Some people naturally have a more efficient metabolism, allowing them to process nutrients and generate energy more effectively. Others may struggle with metabolic conditions such as insulin resistance, hypothyroidism, or nutritional deficiencies that make it harder for their bodies to sustain long-term exertion. If someone has an iron deficiency, for example, their endurance will be compromised due to lower oxygen transport in the blood. Similarly, hydration and electrolyte balance play a major role. Dehydration, even if mild, can lead to faster fatigue, muscle cramps, and overall reduced stamina. Mental resilience and mindset can also impact walking endurance. Walking long distances is not just a physical task. It requires mental endurance as well. Some people naturally have a higher tolerance for discomfort and fatigue, pushing themselves further despite feeling tired. Others may have a lower threshold for exhaustion and may give up more easily when they start to feel discomfort. Psychological conditions such as anxiety, depression, or chronic stress can drain a person's energy levels, making physical activity feel much harder than it should. Motivation and mindset are often underestimated factors in determining endurance. Previous injuries and joint health can explain major differences in endurance. Even if two people appear identical in terms of age and weight, their history of physical activity and injuries can create long-term effects. Someone who has experienced knee pain, hip discomfort, or foot problems may find walking more strenuous, even if the issue is not severe enough to cause visible limping. Joint inflammation from conditions like arthritis can silently reduce endurance, making every step feel heavier than it does for someone with healthier joints. Digestive health and nutrient absorption can make a surprising difference in endurance levels. If a person struggles with digestive issues that prevent proper absorption of key nutrients, their muscles and organs may not receive the necessary fuel to sustain prolonged activity. Conditions such as irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, or even an unbalanced diet can lead to deficiencies in essential vitamins and minerals that play a role in stamina. Proper nutrition is a cornerstone of endurance, and even slight imbalances can create noticeable differences in performance. Sleep quality and recovery time have a profound impact on physical endurance. Two people may have similar lifestyles, but if one suffers from poor sleep or chronic fatigue, their ability to sustain long walks will be severely diminished. Sleep is when the body repairs muscles, restores energy, and regulates hormones. A person who gets deep, restorative sleep will have better endurance than someone who experiences interrupted or insufficient rest. Sleep apnea, A condition where breathing repeatedly stops during sleep can significantly impact energy levels, leading to lower endurance even if the person does not realize they have the condition. Environmental and habitual factors can also shape differences in endurance. If one person lives in an area where they frequently walk, their body adapts to sustain movement, making it easier for them to maintain endurance. Someone who primarily uses transportation or does not engage in regular walking may struggle more, even if they appear to be in the same shape. The way a person moves daily matters. Small habits like taking the stairs instead of an elevator or walking short distances instead of driving can add up over time, contributing to overall stamina. Stress levels and emotional well-being influence endurance in profound ways. A person who is dealing with high levels of stress may experience muscle tension, reduced motivation, and even increased inflammation in the body. Chronic stress can deplete energy reserves, making long-distance walking feel far more difficult. In contrast, someone with a relaxed and positive mindset may find it easier to sustain energy throughout a walk, even if their physical fitness is not vastly superior. Can improving your walking endurance actually reverse existing heart damage? Or is it only useful for maintaining health? For individuals who have suffered heart damage, whether from a heart attack, chronic high blood pressure, or other cardiovascular conditions, walking can serve as a foundational step toward recovery. When a person commits to improving their walking endurance, they are effectively training their heart to become more efficient. The heart, like any other muscle, responds to consistent physical activity by strengthening over time. Improved circulation, lower blood pressure, and better oxygen delivery to tissues are just a few of the benefits. For those with mild to moderate heart damage, this can lead to significant improvements in heart function. The body begins to adapt, creating new blood vessels to compensate for damaged areas, a process known as collateral circulation. This adaptation can help restore some lost function and enhance overall cardiovascular efficiency. However, it is important to acknowledge that while walking can improve heart health, it may not fully reverse severe damage. Conditions such as advanced heart failure or extensive scar tissue from multiple heart attacks may limit the extent of recovery. That being said, even in such cases, increasing walking endurance can slow further deterioration, improve quality of life, and reduce the risk of additional complications. By engaging in regular walking, individuals give their hearts the opportunity to work more effectively, reducing strain and promoting a healthier balance of oxygen and nutrient distribution throughout the body. Another key factor to consider is the impact of walking on inflammation and cholesterol levels. Chronic inflammation plays a significant role in the progression of heart disease, contributing to arterial stiffness and blockages. Walking, especially when done consistently, helps reduce inflammation by promoting better circulation and lowering stress hormone levels. Over time, this can lead to improvements in arterial flexibility and a reduced burden on the heart. Additionally, walking has been shown to raise levels of high-density lipoprotein, often referred to as good cholesterol, while lowering low-density lipoprotein, the bad cholesterol that contributes to plaque buildup. This shift in cholesterol balance can help slow or even reverse the progression of atherosclerosis, a leading cause of heart attacks. Beyond the physical effects, walking has profound psychological benefits that indirectly support heart health. Stress and anxiety can take a serious toll on the cardiovascular system, contributing to high blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, and increased inflammation. Walking, particularly in nature or in a relaxed setting, serves as a natural stress reliever. It encourages the release of endorphins, the body's feel-good chemicals, which help reduce tension and promote emotional well-being. A calmer mind leads to a more stable heart rate and lower levels of stress-related hormones, which in turn support better long-term heart function. The role of consistency cannot be overstated. Simply walking sporadically will not yield the same results as a dedicated routine. Building endurance gradually, increasing walking time and intensity over weeks and months, allows the heart and circulatory system to adapt in a sustainable way. A person who walks regularly will likely experience improved lung capacity, better energy levels, and enhanced metabolic function, all of which contribute to a more resilient heart. Small but persistent efforts often lead to the most profound changes. Age and genetics also play a role in how much heart damage can be reversed through walking. Some individuals may have a genetic predisposition to heart disease, making it more challenging to undo damage purely through lifestyle changes. However, studies have shown that even those with a strong genetic risk can significantly lower their chances of experiencing further complications by maintaining an active lifestyle. Walking endurance serves as both a preventive measure and a means of enhancing overall cardiovascular function, regardless of genetic predisposition. One of the most inspiring aspects of walking as a heart health intervention is its accessibility. Unlike intense workout programs that may be intimidating or unrealistic for those recovering from heart issues, walking is a low-impact, adaptable activity that almost anyone can incorporate into their routine. It requires no special equipment, no gym membership, and no complicated techniques. This makes it one of the most sustainable forms of exercise for long-term heart health improvement. Even those who start with short, slow walks can gradually build endurance, witnessing tangible progress in their ability to walk longer distances with less fatigue. It is essential to pair walking with other heart-healthy habits to maximize its benefits. A nutritious diet rich in whole foods, healthy fats, and lean protein supports the body's ability to repair itself. Proper hydration ensures that blood circulates efficiently, reducing the likelihood of clot formation. Adequate sleep gives the heart and body time to recover, while stress management techniques such as deep breathing or meditation complement the calming effects of walking. When combined, these habits create an environment where the heart has the best chance of healing and thriving. While there is no single miracle cure for reversing heart damage, walking endurance is one of the most powerful tools available for improving heart health. It provides a path to recovery for those with existing conditions and serves as a protective measure against future cardiovascular issues. The human body has an incredible capacity for adaptation and resilience, and walking is one of the simplest ways to tap into that potential. Whether the goal is to reverse mild damage, maintain current health, or prevent future complications, the act of walking consistently creates ripples of positive change throughout the entire cardiovascular system. If someone struggles to walk a long distance without stopping, what is the safest and most effective way to build their heart strength over time? A crucial factor in strengthening the heart is understanding the body's signals. If someone experiences discomfort, dizziness, or excessive fatigue, it is important to slow down or take a break. The heart is a powerful organ, but it thrives on consistency rather than abrupt exertion. Walking should feel like a challenge, but not an overwhelming struggle. Finding a comfortable pace that allows for deep breathing and conversation ensures that the heart is being worked without excessive strain. Over time, this steady movement builds endurance, making it easier to cover longer distances with less effort. Another effective approach is interval walking, which involves alternating between short bursts of slightly faster walking and periods of slower, recovery-paced movement. This method gently pushes the heart to work harder for short durations while still allowing time for recovery. Over time, interval walking helps improve cardiovascular efficiency and strengthens the heart without overloading it. For someone starting with very low endurance, even 30-second intervals of slightly increased pace can make a difference. As progress is made, the duration of faster-paced intervals can be extended gradually, leading to improved stamina. Building heart strength is not just about walking itself, but also about preparing the body through proper warm-ups and cool-downs. Starting each walk with gentle movements such as ankle rolls, leg swings, and slow marching in place helps activate the muscles and improve circulation. At the end of each walk, taking a few minutes to stretch and focus on deep breathing supports recovery and reduces stiffness. These small but important steps make walking sessions more effective and comfortable. Incorporating strength training alongside walking can further enhance heart health. Simple bodyweight exercises such as squats, seated leg lifts, or gentle resistance band exercises improve muscle strength, which in turn reduces strain on the heart during physical activity. A stronger lower body supports more efficient walking mechanics, making longer distances feel more manageable. Strength training does not need to be intense. Even light resistance work a few times per week can make a noticeable difference in endurance and overall energy levels. A major factor that influences heart health and walking endurance is breathing technique. Many people unknowingly take shallow breaths while walking, which can lead to quicker fatigue. Practicing diaphragmatic breathing, where the breath is drawn deeply into the abdomen rather than remaining in the chest, allows for better oxygen exchange and increased stamina. Focusing on slow, controlled breathing while walking ensures that the muscles receive adequate oxygen, preventing unnecessary shortness of breath. Developing this habit takes time, but with practice, it becomes second nature and greatly enhances walking endurance. Hydration and nutrition play vital roles in supporting cardiovascular health. Drinking enough water before, during, and after walks helps maintain proper circulation and prevents dehydration-related fatigue. Consuming a balanced diet rich in heart-healthy foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins provides the necessary nutrients for muscle function and energy production. Foods high in omega-3 fatty acids, such as salmon and walnuts, support heart function and reduce inflammation, further aiding in endurance improvement. One of the biggest challenges in building walking endurance is maintaining motivation, especially when progress feels slow. Setting small, achievable goals helps create a sense of accomplishment and encourages continued effort. For example, increasing walking time by 1 or 2 minutes each week may not seem significant in the moment, but over several months, it results in noticeable improvement. Keeping a simple walking journal to track progress can be a powerful way to stay motivated and see tangible results. Mental resilience is just as important as physical strength when working toward better heart health. It is natural to experience moments of frustration or self-doubt, but reminding oneself of the benefits of walking can help maintain focus. Walking not only strengthens the heart, but also improves mood, reduces stress, and enhances overall well-being. Viewing each walk as an investment in long-term health shifts the perspective from one of struggle to one of empowerment. The environment in which a person walks can make a significant difference in motivation and enjoyment. Choosing scenic routes, walking in parks, or listening to music or podcasts can turn walking into a pleasurable experience rather than a chore. Finding a walking partner can also provide encouragement and accountability. When walking becomes an enjoyable part of daily life rather than a task to be completed, it becomes easier to stay consistent and committed to progress. As endurance improves, the body will begin to respond positively. The heart will become more efficient at pumping blood, breathing will feel easier, and muscles will recover more quickly. These changes happen gradually, but with each step taken, the body moves closer to greater strength and resilience. Even on days when progress feels slow, each walk is contributing to overall cardiovascular health and endurance. How does walking endurance compare to other forms of cardiovascular fitness, such as running or cycling, in assessing heart health? At first glance, it may seem like running or cycling is the obvious choice for improving cardiovascular health. After all, these activities involve higher intensity, greater speed, and increased effort. Running, with its fast-paced rhythm, gets the heart pumping quickly, pushing the body to its limits. Cycling, with its constant movement and endurance, works similarly by forcing the heart to beat faster to supply oxygen to the muscles over time. These activities are undoubtedly excellent for cardiovascular fitness because they elevate heart rate and improve circulation, both essential for maintaining heart health. But there's something incredibly powerful about walking too, and it deserves its own spotlight. Walking is often underrated, but it's a surprisingly effective form of cardiovascular exercise. Unlike running or cycling, walking tends to be much easier on the joints and muscles, which makes it accessible to a wide range of people, regardless of age or fitness level. The best part? It still delivers heart-boosting benefits. While it might not push your heart rate into the same high zones as running, walking increases heart rate, improves blood circulation, and strengthens the heart over time, especially when done consistently. Walking briskly for at least 30 minutes a day, for instance, can improve your heart health in ways that are comparable to more intense exercises. Let's consider the long-term effects of walking on heart health. Studies show that people who walk regularly tend to have a lower risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and stroke. The beauty of walking is that it's a sustainable exercise for most people. Whether it's a daily walk in the park or simply taking the stairs instead of the elevator, the cumulative effect of these movements can help maintain heart health over time. It's a manageable commitment for people who may not have the energy or time to go for a run, but still want to make a real difference to their heart's well-being. This gentle yet consistent form of exercise can lower cholesterol, improve circulation, and even reduce stress, all of which contribute to better heart health. In contrast, running tends to provide a quicker and more intense cardiovascular workout. It's the kind of activity that ramps up your heart rate quickly and efficiently. When you're running, especially at higher speeds or over long distances, your heart works hard to keep up with the demands of your body. This rapid increase in heart rate can help to strengthen the heart muscle, improve blood vessel flexibility, and enhance overall cardiovascular capacity. The problem with running, however, is that it isn't always sustainable for everyone. The high impact can be tough on the joints, particularly for people with existing injuries or those who are just starting their fitness journey. It's great for building endurance and stamina, but it may not always be the most accessible option for all individuals. Cycling, on the other hand, offers a nice middle ground between the intensity of running and the gentleness of walking. It's an excellent cardiovascular workout that's easier on the knees and joints compared to running, but it still provides a great cardio challenge. Cycling, whether indoors on a stationary bike or outdoors on the road, works your leg muscles while increasing heart rate, making it another superb option for improving heart health. Like running, cycling pushes your cardiovascular system to adapt and become more efficient. It's particularly good for building endurance over time, as it often involves longer sessions that keep the heart rate elevated. However, for people with limited access to a bike or who don't enjoy cycling, this option might not always be feasible. Now, when we compare walking to these other forms of cardiovascular exercise, it's important to recognize that heart health isn't just about how quickly you can get your heart to beat faster. It's also about the consistency of the effort and how the exercise fits into your overall lifestyle. Running and cycling may offer faster results when it comes to improving heart rate variability, or VO2 max, a measure of the heart's ability to transport oxygen during intense exercise. But walking, especially when done at a brisk pace, can improve heart function just as effectively over the long haul. For someone who is just starting to incorporate cardiovascular exercise into their routine, walking can serve as a powerful foundation. As fitness levels improve, walking can be gradually intensified or supplemented with other activities like running or cycling. Another interesting point to consider is the mental aspect of cardiovascular fitness. We all know that exercise is not just good for the body, but for the mind too. Walking, being less intense, offers a unique opportunity to clear the mind, reduce stress, and improve mental well-being. The rhythmic motion of walking can have a meditative effect, allowing you to connect with your surroundings, decompress, and focus on your thoughts. It's a form of exercise that's often linked to mindfulness. Running and cycling, while incredibly beneficial, can sometimes feel more goal-oriented, pushing you to complete a certain distance or time. With walking, the focus can shift from performance to enjoyment, making it a sustainable activity for mental and physical well-being alike. One key factor to remember is that heart health is deeply personal, and what works for one person might not work for another. Some may thrive on the adrenaline rush of running or the endurance challenge of cycling, while others may find that walking provides just the right amount of cardiovascular benefit without putting undue stress on the body. Ultimately, what matters most is finding a routine that you can stick to, one that keeps your heart healthy while fitting into your lifestyle. Walking, running, and cycling all have their place in the spectrum of cardiovascular fitness. Each offers unique benefits for heart health, and there's no one-size-fits-all solution. What's most important is that we keep moving, no matter the intensity, and prioritize consistency. If you enjoy running, then run. If cycling is your thing, get on the bike. And if you prefer walking, that's perfectly okay too. Your heart will thank you for it. If you like today's discussion, don't forget to like the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with every video we release. And yes, don't forget to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. Every comment is special to us. Your feedback helps us improve further. We'll continue to meet you in every new video on this channel. So until next time, take care.